button saying, hi, everyone, welcome to our event. So I think we're going to kick it off, get started. So welcome. Tonight's film club is presented through a collab between two organizations that are devoted to protecting, amplifying, and celebrating queer women's stories. The Curve Foundation is the only national nonprofit dedicated to preserving the history, advancing the visibility, and championing the futures of LGBTQ plus women and non-binary people through storytelling, leadership development, and community building. Curve connects generations and ensures that our stories are never lost. Frankly Speaking Films is a woman-led documentary production company and impact studio creating bold, joyful, and socially resonant films that shift culture and expand who gets to be seen. Our work lives at the intersection of artistry, advocacy, and imagination. Together, Curve and Frankly Speaking Films know that stories are not just entertainment, they are inheritance, resistance, and possibility. Welcome to Film Club. All right, before we dive in, a few quick housekeeping notes. And probably the first one is, I'm Jen Rainin. I just managed to completely not introduce myself. I am one of the directors at Frankly Speaking Films, and I am the co-founder with my wife, Franco Stevens, of the Curve Foundation. So I represent both organizations. So for housekeeping, you should know that this event is being recorded for our archive, as well it should be, given who is on with us today. We have ASL interpretation and closed captions available, which you can turn on using Zoom's taskbar. We are supported by Autumn Esclavan, our ASL interpreter from Hands of Equality, as well as Sunny from Curve, who will be off camera making sure everything runs smoothly. Thank you, Sunny. We will have a brief Q&A portion at the end of the program. So if you have questions anytime, click the Q&A button on your Zoom screen to enter your questions as you think of them. We will also share a feedback form at the end because we want to hear from our community about what speaks to you, what your interests are. So please share your thoughts with us if you have a moment. Now, tonight, we celebrate, this film. We celebrate a film that quietly, bravely, and unapologetically changed the landscape of queer cinema, and I know for a fact changed the world for a lot of people who I love. 40 years ago, Desert Hearts arrived like a whispered secret and a revolution at the same time. A love story between two women told with dignity, desire, and emotional truth. No tragedy required. No punishment at the end. Just longing, courage, and the audacity to imagine happiness. That vision belongs to Donna Deitch, the incredible Donna Deitch. Donna did not simply direct Desert Hearts, she insisted it into existence. She carved space for queer women to see ourselves as romantic leads, as complicated humans, and as people worthy of joy. And in doing so, she gave generations of filmmakers like myself permission to dream louder. Sunny, can we take a look at the clip?
My only clear memory is arriving.
The New York Super Chief with garbage.
The rest is a blur.
Professor Bell?
Call me Vivian.
Welcome to Reno.
I've always lived in the city. I won't know what to do with all this space.
Lots of iced tea and no deep thinking. Oh, brother. Professor Bell, Kay Rivers. How do you do? I love you. What's that damn car drive? Jesus. 3 guesses who that was.
If you got leaving on your mind.
You enjoying the ranch?
It's different. Join the girl talk.
We were discussing sex versus marriage.
You're one bunch of kooks out there.
I am 35 years old. I want an honest life. I am leaving a decent marriage to see if I can find one.
I had a love of my own.
You had more than most people dare hope for.
Well, bebop,
I'm getting tired of defending your reputation.
I'm used to people talking behind my back.
What a fuck.
Button yourself up. Professor don't need to see your business popping through.
You should think twice before you hang around with her.
I believe you're loaded. I couldn't imagine doing this if I wasn't.
If your heart
Are you trying to shock me?
No. I was only telling you the truth. One of these days, I'm gonna meet somebody that counts.
You kissed me.
And you kiss me.
Look, stop fussing, eat your breakfast, and leave the woman alone.
This doesn't concern you, Francis.
I can't claim angel's wings, but I am normal.
I want to be free of who I've been.
She meant something to me, and you knew it.
No fear, no confusion, just self-assured. I don't act that way to change the world. I act that way so the goddamn world won't change me.
What do you think you're doing?
Waiting for you.
Damn. And tonight, as if that weren't enough, Donna's legacy sparkles even brighter alongside someone who has spent her career helping us laugh, feel, and belong. Jane Lynch is a cultural treasure. With your unmistakable wit, warmth, and generosity, you have helped make queer excellence feel both visible and joyfully ordinary from Broadway to television and beyond. I also understand that you have watched Desert Hearts 50 times. Is that correct?
Probably more than 50 times.
Probably more.
Probably more.
Respect. Together, Donna and Jane represent two luminous chapters of queer storytelling, the trailblazer who lit the first match and the star who helped turn that light into a constellation. Join me, please, in celebrating 40 years of Desert Hearts and welcoming these two icons that we are so lucky to have with us, Donna Deitch and Jane Lynch.
Oh, that was beautifully
Thank
put.
you.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was lovely. Hi, everybody. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Jane Lynch.
Donna Deitch.
I don't know how that all got started, but
yeah,
it just continues, and I love it, as I love you, and I thank you so much for doing this.
Oh,
it's
pleasure.
You know, people might wonder, now it's been revealed, why I wanted Jane Lynch to be in conversation with. Like, how did I choose Jane Lynch? And this is the second time we've done this. And Jane Lynch, as Jen just told you, has seen Desert Hearts 50 and maybe more times.
Maybe.
So I think I read that somewhere. Mm-hmm. And my immediate response was, I want to meet Jane Lynch. And I think we might have met on one of those Olivia cruises a long time ago.
We did, yeah, 2004 when John Kerry lost the election.
Oh, 2004, right. Oh, yeah, that's right. 2004 during that election, because I remember I made an announcement that everybody who came to this Olivia cruise with one of those voting receipts, would get to see the outtakes from the Desert Hearts love scene, because I was so worried when they scheduled it for that date that people might get on the ship and then not vote. So that was my kind of incentive for them to come on and take that cruise with everybody. But so Jane, so I really wanted to initially talk with you because I've never known anyone to, even myself probably, see that movie 50 times.
Yeah.
So, I was wondering, what prompted, what's the story behind that?
The kissing scene when they first kiss, she says, roll the window, it's rain, roll it down, roll it down. I played that scene over and over again, not only on my VCR, but in my mind. But there was a time, it was a summer of 1987, 88. It was made in 85, right?
It came out, yes, it came out in 86.
Oh, it came out in 86. Well, anyway, I had the VHS tape and I wore it out. I watched it every day this one summer. I was like lost in a fantasy of this movie and of being in this movie as Patricia Charbonneau, and of what it must have been to make this movie. I mean, and my imagination was just on fire. My feet were not on the ground. I was absolutely in a 100% rapturous fantasy about this movie and what it did to me and the possibilities for love between two women, because I hadn't seen anything like that. I was out. I wasn't out to my family, but I was in the theater in Chicago, and there were, it was riddled with gays. So that wasn't like a big deal that I was gay, but I didn't see the possibility for love the way I was shown in Desert Hearts, and it blew me away. And I'm sure I watched it more than 50 times.
And so when you were watching it more than 50 times, was this occurring like over a period of years?
No, one summer. And I've seen it since. I saw it before, and I've seen it. In fact, I saw it in the movie theater first. But there was this one summer where I just lost myself to this movie and my imagination. It was like a reverie. I was in like a dream state from it the whole time. I mean, it was pretty intense.
It was a summer of love.
For me, by myself in my imagination.
So I remember you once told me that, well, see, Jane and I have a dialogue on the Criterion on the DVD, and it's one of those extras during which we discuss a great many things. And I'm recalling that you told me that this was a very particular time in your life, and Desert Hearts operated in quite, an intense way in making you feel, I think you said, differently about yourself.
Yeah, and the possibilities for my life, and that
right.
Possibilities for that kind of deep love that's also very sensual and sexual, and the sexual tension in this film is just off the charts, and it really did kind of take me to a new place in the realm of possibility for my life.
Did it do anything for your sex life?
Nothing. It did nothing. Like I said, I was in, and it's kind of the person I am. I'm a 12th house Cancer. So a lot happens in my subconscious. A lot of my kind of working stuff out. I'm a fantasy person, and it's not always sexual. It's in fact almost not. It's more romantic and goes just very deep to like a deep soul level, and that's what I felt. That's what I felt was in this movie, Donna. It was so deeply spiritual, and it rose above like any other romantic movie, gay or straight, I had ever seen in my life.
Wow, that's incredible compliment coming from you. I have some questions about the astrology in the life of Desert Hearts, but perhaps another time.
My God, I'd love to talk about that.
Maybe we could do the chart, the Desert Hearts chart.
Oh, we should. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah. So you said to me, well, I relate to Kay Rivers, Patricia Charbonneau's character.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that?
Well, she was kind of the charming, more, if you will, masculine. She was a tomboy. She was, loved life. She was like she said, I'm just trying to make sure that the goddamn world doesn't change me. And I don't know that I felt that way. I didn't live that way, but I really admired that about her. I admired the way she just walked through the world. This is who I am. And then you have Helen Shaver, who's, she doesn't even, when she gets to town, she doesn't even know that she is gay or is going to fall in love with a woman. It's probably the furthest thing from her mind. And she just gets gobsmacked. And I love watching that. But I like it from the point of view of Kay. I like that. I like that she, was her own person. She lived on a ranch. She looked cute in shorts, and she had great hair. And I thought she was just a doll.
So it's really incredible for me to have the experience of talking about the film with you, because you're just a great actor. And when you said to me, well, I feel I went into the story, into these characters through Kay Rivers, because she's the one that I related to, as an actor, as a viewer, and I really love to get people's desert hearts stories, but no one can tell it quite like Jane Lynch, because she's the viewer, but she's the actor too. So when she talks about this, it's a very fascinating thing for me, because normally I'm talking with the actors who are in the film or the viewers. So it's pretty incredible to talk with someone who is both of those.
Yeah, it was a pretty unique experience that I had that summer with Desert Hearts, and I don't think I've had it since with anything else, where I was so spiritually and emotionally just in like a fugue state over this thing. And at the same time, as an actor, I was very much in my fantasy and in my imagination. How did they make it? How did they do those scenes? How how vulnerable Helen Shaver had to be, and especially the scenes in the hotel room, the really deeply intimate sexual scenes. My imagination I was like, how did she do it? And then you told me that you were the only one in the room, right? I think you had one tech person with you.
Well, I had the camera, the cinematographer,
okay,
the camera person, and the sound person.
So the three of you and your actors, and that was it in that room.
Right, because I really had to take 2 jobs in that room, because I had to keep everybody but them out. So the other job I had was as spritzer.
Keep them all nice and glowy.
Sweaty. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, it was great.
I just sort of shot that thing at them whenever I felt like it.
You know what? I watching that trailer, and I bet everybody had this experience too. They are 2 gorgeous women who are at like the peak of youth and womanhood. It's like they're teetering on both of them. She's 35. Helen is 30. It plays a character that's 35, and I think Patricia's maybe 30 or late 20s. 25. Oh yeah, 10 years.
Yeah, there's a 10-year difference. Yeah,
and it was shot in 1985. That's how I remembered all that. And actually, I was at that. I was 35 that year. I was 35 years old in 19. Was I 35? No, 25. So I was her age.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey,
I just got dropped back into the middle of your conversation.
I don't know how that happened.
It's magic. Zoom magic happened.
Yeah. Welcome.
Well, thanks. I love hearing this conversation so much. I know that we've been getting a lot of comments. There's a lot of people on this meeting.
Now, how many people are here? Because I heard that it was the largest one of these things you've ever had, like over 1,000, or how many? It's
a lot. More than 1,000 people signed up. And right now it looks like 377 participants. And probably 350 of them, Jane, are saying you're too quiet.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh, sorry. How's this?
But see, I think it's just that you're too far from your mic.
Okay.
Oh. There's her mic. Now we're all seeing the mic.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right. Yeah, as long as we can hear.
It's like I'm a podcaster. Okay. So did you miss all the brilliant things that I said?
Hope not.
I don't think we missed them, but we had to strain to hear them. So
what do you think, Sonny? Could they hear me? Sonny, shake your head.
I can hear you great, but I think, okay, people are saying much better. We hear you.
Oh, good.
Everybody's happy.
Okay, sorry, you guys. I'll repeat anything you want.
And I just want to make sure also, does everyone know how to find our ASL interpreter, Autumn? I think if you would like to take
Here,
advantage of that service.
I
Oh,
see.
Sunny.
So, so people are talking in the chat right now. Can you tell me if you are having trouble seeing our ASL interpreter? Okay.
Dun, da-da. I don't
If
see
not,
it.
I will just
Good.
pin Autumn, our interpreter, so that everyone can see. So,
And you
okay,
can
I'm just
unpin
going to
me.
pin Autumn. Can everyone see our ASL interpreter?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for your patience. Great.
I will now recede into the background. Please continue your conversation.
All right.
Oh, I see.
Thank
I
you.
see. Range. Okay. So now where were we?
I was talking about Reverie. I
Right.
don't know.
And we were talking about well, look.
Oh, yeah. The last thing I brought up is that how beautiful Helen and Patricia were, and how they were kind of at that moment of, youth and womanhood, like threatening adulthood, and how beautiful that is. It's when I think we're our most gorgeous.
Right. Well, I want a lot of people ask me about casting.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I thought a lot about was in a typical casting session, or certainly in Hollywood film casting sessions, when there are movie stars involved, they don't come to auditions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making a love story, there's really only one way to know if there's chemistry, that the real chemistry, right? And that's in an audition room where you get to see if anything's really possible and happening with both of the couple in the room doing it together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when I was casting for this, I cast Patricia first for the part of Kay Rivers, who I met in New York at a casting session. And when I met Patricia, when I first saw her photo, an 8x10 photo, which is all around these casting offices, I knew the minute I looked at it that I think she's the one. I think she's the one to play Kay Rivers. And then they said to me, "Oh no, because she's never been in a film before. She's a theater actor." And I said, "Well, that makes absolutely no difference. I want to meet her." And they brought her in, and I really knew that she was the one. So back in LA, where I was casting the Vivian Bell character, when I had it narrowed down to 3 people, I flew Patricia in because that's what I had to see in that room. I had to see the chemistry, because there's only so much. Tell me if you agree with this, Jane, but there's only so much like real chemistry that you can just bring on, which is part of the job, of course, but that is not actually somehow inherently there.
Right.
With that other actor, right? I mean,
yeah, sometimes it's a happy accident and it works,
Yeah.
if you can't get them in the room together. But if it doesn't work, you don't have a movie.
Exactly. So most Hollywood films, or at least most films with movie stars, it's rare that you're going to see those 2 people in the room together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when that happened, so it was Helen Shaver who got the part for the obvious reasons that I was just talking about. The 2 of them, you could see it, and no one was disagreeing. It was one of those 100%. Everybody in the room saw it, right? And then that night, Patricia was staying with me, and we were having dinner, and I was talking to her about that scene today that she and Helen did together. And I said, "Well, do you remember that moment where you were saying something, and then you put your hand on Helen's cheek?" And she said, "No, I don't remember that." And then we were going on. I said, "No, you were saying exactly this, and then you did that. She said, no, I have no recollection of that. So it was just that sort of thing that was going on in the room, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that so to start with, I knew I was on the right track with the two of them because I already saw it.
Yeah.
I saw enough of it that I knew it was there. That's key, absolutely key. And that's I just wanted to share with all of you that is what I was after, and that I definitely saw it, and they each felt it because they're actors.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
they know what they're feeling in any moment.
You know what I love about this movie, Donna, is you, and as you talk about the casting, you are uncompromising. And I think it was your first movie, right? Or your first big movie anyway.
It was my first dramatic film.
Okay. And it was just the care and the casting and it's one of the most beautiful films. I mean, still, the landscape and the shots of how beautiful it is out there. Where was it? It was in Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Reno.
Reno, yeah.
Yeah. Did you shoot it in Reno?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Everything was so authentic, too, that you shot it in Reno. In my fantasy, I thought you all lived in one big house. You lived in that ranch together while you shot it. That was the fantasy I had going. But how beautifully and sweeping and epic some of those, like when she's watching the horse run free, and she's playing Crazy. You're playing Patsy Cline's Crazy. There are so many moments that just are like, they stick in the mind, and I'm sure everybody will tell you when we open it up the scenes that impacted them and imprinted on them.
Yeah, well, here's something that I learned and advised to all the filmmakers out there is that when it comes to hiring department heads, cinematographers, production designers, really everybody, hire someone who knows a lot more about it than you do. Mm-hmm. Don't get hung up on anything like that, because the more they know, the more they're going to bring. Mm-hmm. So when I hired the cinematographer, Robert Elswit, we were all starting then. They had all done a few films, and enough for me to look at to know that I wanted them. Yeah. And but they all went on to be, Academy Award nominated and Oscar winning in their field. If that makes any difference, it doesn't always, but they've had incredible careers. As I said, we were all just kind of starting out. But what they were drawn to, and they always talk about this, is that script. Mm. They were drawn to me a bit too, because I was so obsessive about making this movie and talking to them about it like that somehow something came through. But that script was like instrumental in bringing those artists, to this project. And that's just, that was just so key, to, but this is how it's supposed to be. Like, you as a director, you need to tell people what you need, what you're looking for. And then they're going to figure out how to get that. That's the idea. But Jane, don't you feel that, or do you feel that making film is like the most collaborative experience? I mean, as an artist, mm-hmm. Do you feel that way? And
yeah, in the best situations it is, and everybody is at the top of their game, and everybody, and when it is collaborative. And you allow those who are, great at what they do, and you let them do what it is they do, it's a joy. It's like a grand orchestra where everyone is a master at their instrument. And
Exactly. Well put.
yeah, and you can tell while you're making it. You can tell while you're doing it, and you can tell when you're in one that's not that way too.
Right.
And you just hope you get lucky and it all kind of comes together. But there are times when you can really tell this is something.
Yeah, and that was definitely the feeling on the set, because we went out to Reno, and we all stayed in this motel, and it was one of those motels from the 50s where it's kind of like around a pool, like every door, every
Motor
door.
lodge.
Yes, there you go, motor lodge.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. And so because we were all, the only recognizable person was Audra Lindley. And she's the only one who had her sheets changed every day, because the people who were, working there, they recognized her from
the Ropers, right?
Yes,
Three's Company.
Yeah, Mrs. Roper,
Right.
So she was the only one who had her sheets changed every single day, and we were like a sort of a little theater group, out there, like in a small town. No agents were around. Nobody was visiting. It was just, and everybody came for the whole time, even if they weren't shooting every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just the making of it was such a, not just collaborative. It was just like the whole set was filled with goodwill, and fun.
Yeah,
and
it's a rare thing.
And then there was a lot of sex. And
was there?
Yeah, well, this is because we were all around that. I don't know, it was the vibe of the whole thing. Not me, because I was actually working or sleeping, but the others were having a grand time.
Didn't Helen meet her husband there?
Yeah, she met her husband.
Yeah.
He was on the camera crew. She met him there. Yes, that's right. And yes, it's and they have a son, and they're still together. Yeah, it's even that, and then Patricia, she found out she was pregnant in the very, very beginning.
Oh gosh.
So, and she, well, when we were shooting that scene with the cars going backwards, after I said cut every single time, the Teamsters had a bucket for her in the car on the seat next to her. And so every time it was cut, she'd just throw up in the bucket.
Oh, that's commitment. So that kid is 40 years old.
That kid is 40 years old, and we call her the Desert Hearts baby.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that, yeah, there was something, and even like the soundtrack, that came to me because, and you know how this is, Jane, you're out there on location somewhere, and when you're not shooting, everybody's just working, doing different things, there's music going on. And so it's often from the prop department. And a lot of the music they were playing was country western. And so that's, I just heard it every day coming from here or there or wherever. And so I that always stuck with me and was part of the influence of my soundtrack.
And it was also, it was like down at the casino, it was kind of a Western theme.
Yeah.
Did you add that, or was that in there?
You mean in the casino itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is a real casino.
Mm-hmm.
It was called the Mapes, and it was actually for sale at that time. Mm-hmm. So we just moved in there, and we had to get the slot machines, because it was pretty vacant. But everything that my production designer's name is Janine Openwall. She's made so many films, and everything. What amazed me so much about Janine is that everything had character. Even the sofa. Mm-hmm. in the living room where Helen and Audra sit down for that late night conversation early in the film. Everything has character. It's just, I mean, that would amaze me when I would walk on the set when she was putting everything together to look at it. And then of course, like, for example, that sofa, it's so Western and wonderful. And then when you're on to the next phase of the cutting and laying and sound and all that, of course, that sound designer was, very inspired to put this sort of like creak into the moment they sit down in that sofa. It's just, it's like every one thing inspired the next.
Yeah.
One
And it
person
turns out to be
inspired-
a perfect whole. It's like when all of these synchronicities come together and it turns out, it's like we've got a theme here, we've got a feeling, we've got a vibe, and it all kind of matches up.
Yeah. So like when you walk on set as an actor, when everything is there, I mean, like, what's the first thing you do when you walk into, say, for instance, it's a bedroom and you have a scene in a bedroom, or what's the first thing you do when you walk on to check it out, or before a rehearsal, or what happens for you?
Well, especially when it's done well, the sense of the environment. It's almost like when you put the costume on for the first time. It's like something about the character, the penny drops even more. And when you have somebody who really knows what they're doing, and you walk in and you've got this whole environment that you can live in, the character that you've created can live in that place. Oh, it's really great.
It's an additional inspiration.
Oh, sure is.
Yeah,
Go deeper. Yeah.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. I love actors. Okay. Actors are my favorite people and my best friends in my life. Okay. So I am, so if I were a coin, the flip side would be an actor. That's how I feel. I feel completely incomplete without them.
Yeah.
And that's why I love talking with Jane about this whole thing, because she, it's a different conversation than, somebody who's actually in the film, because it's an observation from someone whose, work I really admire. Plus she's seen the movie 50 times. It's like the best of the best.
Oh, good.
Well,
yeah. Happy to be of service.
So Jane, is there anything you've ever wanted to ask me? I mean, about all of this.
I think that the casting of Audra Lindley, how did that happen? I mean, she was so good, and she was so young too. I always think of her as Mrs. Roper, and she was kind of this woman, loud kind of. We thought a woman in her 60s, but she was so young. She just was pitch perfect. Tell us about that.
Well, I actually didn't know the Ropers. I didn't watch that much.
Three's Company.
Yeah. But the casting director suggested her.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then she came, we met. No audition necessary. Mm-hmm. But Audra, well, of course, she was just wonderful and perfect. And Patricia often talks about, what Audra meant to her, because it was Patricia's first film. And Audra, when Audra was off camera, but Patricia was on camera, Patricia talked about how Audra would give her like twice as much, to help bring out her performance.
Oh, isn't that great?
So Audra was in a way, like a mentor character for Patricia.
Yeah.
Which was really great too, because that's like the opposite of who her character is in the film.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So Audra was, she was just fabulous to work with. She was 100% supportive of everything we were doing. And when we went to Reno to shoot, that script was not spread around. We had to keep it, very quiet, because not everybody was let's say, on our side, you know.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, so we didn't discuss around town what the story was or
Is that right?
anything like that.
Wow.
But Audra, at the end of the whole thing, because see, when I was shooting it, I didn't have the money at that time to hire an editor. So usually when films are made, the editor begins on day one of the shooting. But I couldn't, I had to raise some more money for that. So I didn't have an editor. So I was raising money all the time. And then at the wrap party, Audra came with a check as an investor in the film.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She
How
bought a
wonderful.
She
Oh,
bought one.
that's so good to know. That is wonderful. Wonderful to know about her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just kind of a sort of a perfection.
Yeah.
You know? And Audra, like, you know, all the actors, well, she's gone now, but my friendship with all the actors continues and continued. And as long as we're around here, we all have, our friendship is still ongoing. I'm in touch with every one of them.
Yeah. Oh, is that great?
Yeah. It was just it was miraculous almost in because it just hit. It hit on every level, which of course does not guarantee a good film, as we know. But that was like a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it was a seminal experience for so many people.
Yeah, it was just such a journey. You know, it was such a great journey. You're back, Jen.
Sorry again. Jen's back.
Back. I haven't stopped smiling since you all started talking.
I see you up there smiling.
Just enjoying this so much. And I just have to share, there's an enormous amount of love pouring at you both in the
I'm
chat.
feeling it. I'm feeling it.
It's beautiful. Gosh. The first thing I want to just check in, Donna, how can people see the film now?
Well, now they can see the film. It's distributed, I just want to say, by Criterion, which is I love them. They have gathering more and more and more queer film over there, and they're the distributor of the film. And the film is on. I think it's on, and then they sell it, and it's on to Amazon. I think it's on HBO. It might be on Netflix. It does circulate around all of those streamers.
Fantastic, as well it should.
Yeah.
I am curious if there, Donna, is anything that you would change now about the final cut.
Change down? No, not really. Not really. I mean, I think all film change things because it's just almost unavoidable that you don't have those second thoughts about maybe I could have done it. But no, and I sold that film to the Goldwyn Company as is, like no changes.
Wow.
No edit. It cannot be touched. But they were so worried about the love scene being too long. And of course, I wasn't going to cut it, that they asked if they might test it just to see. And I said, well, you can test it. And so they did test it. And there weren't any complaints about the love scene. Some people said, well, you know, it could have been longer, you know.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. And I know there was somebody in the chat who said that they watched that scene in particular so many times that their VHS tape broke. Not naming names.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, it's
well,
pretty great.
Maybe we should be taking some questions.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what young people watching
Yeah.
it now that have it now, that, you know, because we're of a certain age. We saw it when it first came out. I would love to hear what
me too.
The youngsters have to say.
All right, y'all. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Please enter questions into the Q&A section. And we have been all along gathering people's questions. So we have a few things to ask you while those young folks are putting their questions in. Jane, I'm curious if you have ever been lucky enough to work on a set that was as charmed as the Desert Heart set seems to have been.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about that, and I would say the first series, the first season of Party Down. And the reason why is this, it's the same reason, Donna. We did it kind of like in a vacuum. It was just the actors. There were 8 of us. We all got along. We all had fun together. We all had a drink afterwards. We all smoked cigarettes together. And there was only the director, and we had 2 directors, and the crew. And we went to a different location for every episode, and we were caterers, and we'd go to a different party. But there were no it was the Stars Network, and it had just gotten started, so and they were busy doing other things, and they kind of didn't consider us important enough to visit the set. Our writer, we had one writer, and he never got notes. He would submit it, and nobody would note him. So we were doing it in a vacuum as a group of people who all loved each other, and we were cracking each other up. And whether or not the world was going to think was as funny as we thought it was, almost didn't matter. But it turns out everybody loved it. So a lot of people loved it anyway. So yeah, I've had that experience. Yeah.
It was a wonderful show. I'm so glad it was as fun for you to make as it was to watch.
The best. It was the best.
Oh my gosh. Donna, we're getting a bunch of questions about Jane Rule and wondering if you would talk a little bit about if you worked with her, how that was, and what her reaction was to the film, if you know.
Yeah, I'll start sort of backwards. Jane loved the film. She absolutely loved the film.
Great.
I didn't work with Jane at all. Jane's not a screenwriter, and she didn't want any part of any of that. She just said, take it and do what you will. So that's the and encouraging all the way along the line, like calling me and how's things going, writing me notes, and but she had nothing to do with the world of film. So that was just sort of perfect too, because when she saw it, which was at the Toronto Film Festival, she invited her whole family, and they had a row there. Her father, her mother, and and her father was buying popcorn for everybody in the row.
Gosh.
It was just she loved it. They all loved it, and you never know if you're doing an adaptation from a book how the author is going to respond to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful.
I'm so happy to hear it. That's fantastic. I would love to check on this. So Patricia's character Kay has, and I'm sure you've been asked this a bunch of times, but one of the all-time great cute movie entrances where she drives backward on the highway. How did you come up with that idea?
Well, okay, so this is how it happened. I wrote the initial script, okay, and based on that, I raised $1 million. It took me 2.5 years. I was selling shares in limited partnership of $15,000 a share. Okay, I raised the money, but I felt like the script could be so much better in so many ways. One of which is knowing what people say to each other is not exactly my strength. And I really wanted to get a writer whose strength it was, sort of like, a master of dialogue. And I read a lot of scripts. And I even hired the wrong person the first time around, who never wrote the script until, I don't know, a week before it was due. And that was unfortunate. Anyway, Writers Guild, you got to pay them anyway. So I finally found Natalie on another go round. And I could see that she had a very, very unique, very original access to a language that I felt was really right in terms of the sort of like otherness of of the place of Reno
Mhm.
and the period of it. So what happened is when I hired Natalie, I said to her, look, I've got to have 10 pages a week from you, and I've got to fly out to Oakland, and I've got to read them, and we have to talk about it because I hired the wrong person a short time ago, and I had to pay her the whole thing, and she didn't write it. So now we have to change. I have to see those 10 pages. And then before all of that, I took her to Reno because I wanted her to see all my locations, everything that I had already put together about this film, so she could see it and register it and picture it. And so that's what happened. And we got on. We got on the same page. So here, an example, an actual example is this. So in the book, the two characters meet it's in a rooming house in the book. I'd already put it outside at a dude ranch because the exterior is so much more alive than the interior. And so, but in the book, they meet in sort of like the parlor of the rooming house. And they just sort of shake hands and things like that. And I said, look, Natalie, we know the English professor. Okay, we see her get off the train. We know from her body language, we get a pretty good idea of who she is, right? But now when she meets Kay Rivers, this is what needs to happen. They have to meet in a way that no two people have ever met before. Then we have to know the essence of Kay Rivers, just like we know the essence of the English professor. If she's coming in on a train, she's going to get off that train. We have to know the essence of Kay Rivers by how they meet so that the English professor can see that. And it's got to be different than any other meeting that's ever happened. And it's got to be outside. Okay, think it over. Let me know what you come up with. And so when she gave me those pages, I could hardly believe what I was reading. And that is the degree of her originality, that she could even pick that up from where,
Yeah.
But that's what has to happen. In every really great collaboration, because you as a director, you have to let the person, whether it's a writer or whoever it is, know what you're looking for. Like, what do you need and what do you want? And and when they're as brilliant as Natalie and good at what they do, they might just come up with it.
I challenge anyone not to fall in love with her. It's that just from that scene, extraordinary.
Yeah.
Jane, what's your favorite line in the movie?
You can't win if you don't play.
There it is.
Bingo.
Yeah,
that's you.
That's
me.
You. I mean, I took that,
well done.
I took that line for myself.
Yeah,
because I saw it as a sort of central metaphor of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't play, you can't win. Or the other, was it the other way around? Perfect. But whatever it was, and you put on some accent.
You don't play, you can't win.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're making a film, it's if you just have, like they call them day players, and so they may just have one line. Those are typically, for the obvious reasons, among the weaker actors in the whole project because they just have one line. Right. And one can spend a lot of time trying to get that line right. So though I belong distinctly on the other side of the camera, I just thought, well, I'll just say that line and maybe I'll pull it off. I don't know, but I'll do that.
And what was your accent? Who are you? Why did you decide to use an accent?
I said Hungarian gambler. But I really was, I think I had a French accent. It was more French than Hungarian.
It was very foreign.
Delicious.
It really was.
Exotic.
Yeah.
All right. One last question. It's got to be for Donna. You know what it is. What's happening with the sequel?
Oh, well, the sequel is not a sequel at all.
Ah.
I call it a sequel because it has to do with what I call the world of Desert Hearts, but it's not really a sequel. It's so unconventional that it's not really a sequel. It's not the story of these two women. It's the story connected to it, but not it. It's in the future. This was 1957. The sequel takes place in the early 70s.
Okay. In Nevada?
Yeah. No, in New
Reno?
York.
In New York. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's kind of connected, but I just throw that sequel thing around because I made this film and it's connected to it. But don't look for that. But when you say one more question, you mean one more question from you?
Yes.
Or I have no idea what time it is. I don't know.
2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in the whole enchilada here.
Really?
I know. I could listen to you both for another hour.
Okay. Do you have a kind of a shy audience there, or what?
Oh, I don't think they can actually come off of mute. So they've been putting their questions into there. We've had over 100 questions.
And you've asked some of them. Okay.
And I've asked a bunch of them. Some of them were answered, and I will say some of them were answered in the upcoming issue of Curve, because there was an interview with Maren Johns.
Yeah.
And so,
I want to tell everybody, if you want to know more about Desert Hearts or Jane Rule or me or Jen or Franco or Sonny or anybody, well, maybe not anybody, get the new issue of Curve magazine. When's that coming out?
Well, it's available for free, and it will be at curvemag.com at the beginning of February. So check it out for sure. Franco has asked me to ask you both, what are you doing for Lesbian Visibility Week this year, which is April 20th to 26th? How will you celebrate our visibility?
I don't know. Do you know, Jane?
I plan on being as visible as I am now.
There we go.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Ah, yeah.
I'll post something on the socials.
Please do. Curve is the North American champion of Lesbian Visibility Week.
Is that right? Okay.
Oh, yeah. We run something like 70 events across the country during that week, and lots of other folks are running events, and we just all lift each other up at that time.
Was there anything you would like from either of us for Lesbian Visibility Week? Because we love Curve. We love Curve. We like to support Curve.
Mm-hmm. Anything. I would love to be of service.
I mean, you're saying all my love language here. Can we get back to you on that? Because for sure we would love, but just want you to know about it. And yeah, please post on socials, and everyone else. Hopefully you're all starting to think about Lesbian Visibility Week and what Joe will be doing. I want to thank you all for joining us today. And thank you so much, Donna and Jane, for making this such a special edition of Curve Film Club.
And thank all of you for coming.
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you all.
Wonderful. A whole bunch of you.
I wish we could see you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe next time we'll figure that magic out. Maybe we'll do it live.
Ooh.
All right. So we are sharing a bunch of links in the chat for everyone to check out. We want to hear your feedback, please, so we can shape our future programs. I suspect it's going to be very similar to the feedback we've been getting all along, which is, we love this movie. We love Jane Lynch. We love Donna. Please, more. I'm feeling the love.
I'm feeling
it too.
I hope that you'll all check out Frankly Speaking Films on our website and our socials. And please, if you feel so moved, please consider making a donation to the Curve Foundation. Your donations directly support programs like this one. Stay tuned to our social media for upcoming Curve Quarterly, which, as you know, spotlights the interview with Donna Deitch by incredible editor Maren Johns. And I think that's what we've got. That's it. It's a wrap.
All right.
Thank you, Donna. It was so good to see you.
Thank you again.
I'll see you in 40 years.
Thank
Happy
you.
Lesbian Visibility Week to come.
Yes, indeed.
There we go.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.